The wagons will soon be in Paris.
That is, if the Avenger doesn't strike again tonight.
For weeks he has pillaged us, robbed us at will, cost us hundreds of thousands of francs. The people of Paris call him the Avenger and look to him as their savior. I tell you, de Villefort, we must find out who this masked bandit is, or we are ruined.
You show too much impatience, Danglars. Sometimes these matters must be handled with delicacy.
Delicacy? This is no time for delicacy.
Or perhaps you are as terrified of this phantom as the rest of your sniveling cowards.
Our association in business does not alter the fact that I am still prefect of police, Danglars. It would be wise not to forget it.
I spoke hastily. This masked devil is preying upon my brain.
The mystery of the Avenger will be short-lived. I shall soon unmask him.
And you know who he is?
Oh, I have only suspicions, nothing more.
Who, de Villefort? Who?
We must be discreet. He is a man of importance.
I demand that you name him.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
What?
But not a word of this to our partner, Mayor, or the whole of Paris will know it by tomorrow morning.
Why do you not arrest this Monte Cristo at once?
That would be unwise, Danglars. The Count of Monte Cristo is of foreign royalty, one of the richest men in the world. I shall need more than just suspicions. Yes?
The city apothecary has arrived.
Bring him in.
City apothecary?
Let me attend to it.
You sent for me, Monsieur le Préfet?
Yes, Monsieur Janot. Come in. Come in. My friend, Monsieur Danglars, tells me you have refused to put the official stamp of approval on his medicines.
We have analyzed the solution, and I find it impossible to give my approval.
The plague is spreading through Paris. We need more medicine in the public dispensaries. You will see to it that Monsieur Danglars' medicine is approved.
But, Monsieur de Villefort, his medicine is a fake, where the ingredients are nothing more than water and poisonous coloring. Why, it would spread the plague rather than cure it.
I came across an old record in the files of the Sûreté. André Janot, member of the Jacobean Party, active supporter of Napoleon's march on Paris, convicted and sentenced to 2 years' hard labor for treason.
Monsieur.
Oh, you were perhaps young and headstrong, but this is sufficient to remove our city apothecary from his honorable position. You will give the official stamp of approval to Monsieur Danglars at once.
Yes, Monsieur le Préfet. Well done, de Villefort. The public dispensaries will multiply our revenue many times.
Stay before. Danglars, the Avenger has robbed us again. The wagons have been destroyed. We have lost hundreds of thousands of francs.
I know it.
Where did it happen?
We were attacked without warning in the Bois. They came at us from out of the shadows.
You incompetent idiot.
He did not escape unharmed this time, Monsieur le Préfet. I wounded him in the hand as he rode away.
Wounded, you said? Which hand?
The left, I'm certain. He was but a short distance from me when I fired.
Dismissed. The left hand.
That is because you will not learn to keep your elbow down when you parry.
Darling, I didn't know you had returned.
How many times must I tell you? On the advance, you lead with your point, not with your nose.
Madame la Comtesse will soon be as expert as the best swordsman in France.
Make sure not to instruct her too well, master. I wish to remain master in my own house.
Madame, Monsieur.
Good night, Maître. How did it go, Edmond?
Very well. Another shipment of their poisonous medicine will not reach the sick of Paris.
Good. Edmond, you're hurt.
Oh, that's nothing serious.
Let me dress it at once. Baptiste, the linen and water, please.
I wish I knew the men who are committing this fraud upon the people of Paris. What men can they be to do such evil to the poor and sick?
You're tired, Edmond. You should rest.
Not until I have finished with these men. I will not let them feed this poison to the people.
Why don't you let me help you, Edmond? It's not easy for me to stay alone so much.
But you do help me, darling.
Edmond, if you only knew how much I love you.
But I do know. You love me almost as much as I love you.
One would think we were married just yesterday.
5 happy years are like a moment.
Master,
Yes?
the messenger just brought this from Monsieur de Villefort.
To be four. The prefect of police.
What is it, darling?
To be four invites us to his home for dinner tomorrow night.
But we do not know him.
You do not know him. His men have told him the Avenger was wounded.
Then he suspects you, Edmond.
He seeks to identify me with this.
Edmond, you must not go.
This is your chance to help me, Lady. Tomorrow night you will attend the dinner alone. You will explain that I have been away to the hunting lodge for several days.
But de Villefort will learn that you're not there.
But I will be there. For I shall leave tonight. Do not worry while I am away. I will not return until my injury is healed. Watch over the Countess while I'm gone, Baptiste.
Yes, master.
Here, Antoine. Guard this pendant with your life. There's a code book in the vault. If there is trouble, go to any one of the men whose names are listed there and show them this pendant. They will aid you.
But what of the raid we planned for tomorrow?
I've changed the plans. Tell the men that all operations of the underground are suspended until my return.
Very well, master.
Antoine, this is Charles Bonnet. He wishes to join our cause.
You know him?
He's married to my cousin. He fought with us at Waterloo. I vouch for him.
Welcome. We are in need of old friends.
Thank you, Antoine.
Our plans are changed. The Avenger has left Paris. We will resume our work when he returns.
Maybe he's left us for good when the hounds were at our heels.
Where is he?
Who is it? I tell you he will return.
How can we be sure?
How can we be sure?
I who am closest to him will vouch for that. We've always done the Avenger's bidding. We should know who he is. When you were starving, you did not demand the identity of the man who gave you bread?
We admit that. Who is he?
Yes!
Who is the Avenger? Who is the Avenger? That's
The Avenger was not present. Jacques-Antoine, their leader, said he has left Paris.
Good work, Bonnet. Keep your eyes and ears open.
Oh, yes, Monsieur le Prefect. The unfortunate matter of Monsieur de Rochemont's pocketbook is forgotten.
The charge is dropped. He's convinced he lost it at Chantilly.
Thank you, Monsieur le Prefect. Thank you.
The Avenger is nearer the guillotine than he thinks.
The men feel they are being betrayed. They openly accuse him of running away and leaving them at the mercy of the police.
It's serious, Countess. There's disunity for the first time. The men threaten to disband.
No, they must not. They need the Count now more than ever.
Why does a rich man like the Count do all this? What purpose has he in becoming the Avenger?
You must have trust. His purpose is good. You must convince the man of that.
But our lives are at stake. We follow him blindly. How can we honestly convince the men when we do not know ourselves?
I would never disclose my husband's secret if the cause were not at stake. What I tell you now, you must take with you to your graves.
I swear, madame.
On my life.
Sit down. The pendant which you hold, Antoine, was a gift to my husband from the Emperor. Hidden inside is a miniature of Napoleon Bonaparte, inscribed with the Count's true name, Edmond Dantes. Long ago, my husband was unjustly accused of treason and imprisoned for 14 long years in Château-d'If.
Château-d'If? But they torture men to death?
Years of waiting, hoping, despairing had convinced him that there was no escape except death. When one night he heard a hollow pounding from behind the wall. It was another prisoner attempting to escape. He was Abbé Faria, a priest of extraordinary background. The abbé often talked of a hidden treasure which had been rightfully bequeathed to him. A treasure which would make a man the richest in the world. And all through those years of comradeship, they two worked side by side to dig themselves out of their graves. After they scooped out an underground passageway to connect their dungeons, they dug a tunnel to the outer wall of the prison. Patience was their only mainstay. For each stone they removed was a step nearer to freedom. For 14 long years, they dug their way out, stone by stone. But it was too much for the old abbé, who suffered with a terrible illness. His young friend had nursed him through many of these attacks. No sooner did he get Abbé Faria back to his dungeon, when both knew this was a fatal attack. In those last few precious moments, the abbé confided the secret hiding place of the treasure and bequeathed it to his young friend. But only on one condition: that should he ever escape from Château-d'If and uncover the fortune, which was now rightfully his,
I swear to use my wealth to fight the evils that beset my country, to alleviate the sufferings and injustices heaped upon my fellow men. So help me God.
Abbé Faria was placed in his burial sack. Then a daring plan occurred to Edmond. In the middle of the night, he crawled with the body of the abbé through the secret passageway and placed it on his own bed. Then he returned to the abbé's dungeon and sewed himself into the burial sack. He had just finished when the burial detail arrived. He expected the guards to bury the body. Then, as soon as the guards had gone, he planned to dig himself out of the soft soil to freedom. But it is the custom at Château-d'If that the dead are never buried in the earth. But the sea was not to be Edmond Dantes' grave. He cut himself out of the sack with a knife and swam to freedom. When he found the treasure on the Isle of Monte Cristo, he became the richest man in the world, with his life dedicated to justice.
And those who sent him to Château-d'If?
There were three. The father of de Villefort, prefect of police, he took his own life. Morcerf, the partner of Monsieur Maillard, he died soon after. The third one, Danglars, is said to be still alive.
Forgive us, Countess.
The men will remain loyal to the cause, I promise, madame.
most beautiful woman in all Paris, the Countess of Monte Cristo.
Thank you, Monsieur de Villefort.
You shouldn't take him too seriously, Countess. I've heard him make that same toast often.
You see, Countess, according to Madame May, I have quite a reputation with the ladies. They refuse to take me seriously.
Maybe it is you, Monsieur, who doesn't take the ladies seriously.
It's a pity your husband had to be away tonight. I've been looking forward to meeting him for quite some time.
I know that the Count will regret missing your hospitality, Monsieur, and meeting your charming guests.
It's our good fortune to have you with us tonight.
By the way, how long will the Count be away?
Oh, just a short time. It's only a hunting trip, you know.
Has your husband many interests in Paris?
His interests are all over the known world. My husband is something of an internationalist.
He's reported to have amassed a fabulous fortune.
Oh, I really do not know the extent of his wealth.
I suppose that even in the instance of the Count, it's a woman who is behind his success.
On the contrary, my husband always derides me for my lack of business sense. He won't permit me to invest even my own money.
Oh, if you should ever see counsel for investments, please do not hesitate to call upon us.
Thank you, Monsieur Maillard.
I'm terribly sorry, de Villefort. My carriage broke down.
Oh, how unfortunate. Countess, permit me to present Baron Danglars, the Countess of Monte Cristo.
Baron Danglars?
It's a great pleasure, Countess. I've heard a great deal about you and the Count.
And your name is not unknown to me, Baron.
Unfortunately, the Count will not be with us tonight. He is away at his hunting lodge.
How unfortunate. I was so eager to meet him.
All Paris is talking about the Avenger, de Villefort. What's the news about the bandit?
Oh, have no fear of the Avenger. He's merely some insignificant criminal cloaking himself in mystery to gain notoriety.
He should be tortured when you catch him. The guillotine is too good.
I should think that Monsieur de Villefort will know how to deal with him without your advice.
I've heard that this Avenger is a champion of the people, Monsieur Maillard.
Champion of the people? He's a champion of ruffians and thieves.
He has robbed you?
Oh, no. Monsieur Maillard is afraid that he might be robbed.
There is a rumor that you have arrested one of the Avenger's men tonight.
Yes, a man named Jacques Antoine. He will be guillotined tomorrow.
Do you mean to say that this man, Jacques Antoine, will be guillotined without trial?
Trial, madame? I've already tried him and found him guilty. Countess of Monte Cristo's carriage. I would be delighted to escort you home, Countess.
Well, now, me de Villefort. Remember your guests?
No, thank you. I wouldn't think of taking either of you away. Please forgive me for leaving so early. Headache came on so suddenly.
Why, of course.
It is most regrettable, Countess.
Good night, madam. Good night, monsieur.
Good night. She is very beautiful.
So the fascinating de Villefort has been rebuffed.
All in good time, Danglars. I am a man of patience. I shall send some men to watch Monte Cristo's hunting lodge.
She undoubtedly will send him a message as soon as she arrives home.
Precisely. Then the Avenger will strike to rescue Jacques Antoine, and I have him.
Yes.
Rise. By extraordinary decree of His Majesty Louis Philippe, King of France, to the military governor and the prefect of police of this city of Paris, proper court-martial has been held in behalf of one Jacques Antoine. You, Jacques Antoine, have been found guilty. It is further decreed that on this day, April 2nd, in the year of our Lord, 1832, you are to die by the guillotine.
But I've had no trial.
Hold your tongue! So, you're not only an anarchist and a murderer, but a thief as well. Deliver him to the execution detail.
Monsieur le Préfet, this was found on the prisoner Jacques Antoine.
Dismissed.
This would make a fine gift for Lucille. It might even be worth 30,000 francs.
Come, come, Mayor. The stones alone are worth 100,000.
40,000? You couldn't sell it elsewhere without risk. 50,000 francs, that's all I will pay.
There are more important matters at hand than jewels, gentlemen. Already Antoine is on his way to the guillotine.
Calm yourself, Danglars. Everything will go according to plan.
Then you are certain this trap is well laid?
When the Avenger strikes, he will find the best swordsman of the Paris Guard to welcome him.
Drive on.
This is it, Antoine. The Avenger!
Your Excellency, the courier has arrived.
Send him in. You do not ride very fast. The Count of Monte Cristo has been in Paris for some time.
No, Monsieur the Prefect. The Count is not in Paris. He has not left the hunting lodge.
He's here. He must have left.
Our eyes are on him for 24 hours a day.
Get out. Get out! It's not possible.
You were just in time today. Never have I been closer to death. Countess,
Yes, today I was the Avenger.
I would rather have lost my life than risk the hair of your head.
I appreciate your gratitude, Antoine, but much was at stake.
But, Countess, I do not understand.
Did the Count plan it this way?
No, my husband knows nothing about this.
I'm more confused than ever.
I regret your confusion, Baptiste, but I hope my action has the same effect on the prefect of police. The police are closely watching the Count at the hunting lodge, and a man cannot be in two places at one time.
Very clever, madame. Excellent. But we have bad news also, madame. Antoine lost the pendant. Yes, it fell into the hands of the police.
No, not the police.
The Count should never have chosen me. I am not worthy of his trust.
No, Antoine, this is no time for self-reproach. We must learn who has the pendant and get it back at once.
Lucille, I've repeatedly told you not to come and visit me here.
There was a time when I didn't have to come here. What's the matter? I'm still the same. All of a sudden, your attitude has become like the prefect of the police with me.
But Lucille, you're now Madame Mayor.
I despise him.
Well, that's most unfortunate, but one can't have everything in life. You wanted money, you got it.
That was never an obstacle in the past. Is there someone else?
Yes?
Pardon, Monsieur, the Countess of Monte Cristo is here.
Send her in.
Raymond. Really?
Lucille, you flatter me. Come in, Countess.
Monsieur de Villefort? Madame Millard? Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to intrude.
On the contrary, Countess, I'm afraid it's I who am intruding.
I'm delighted to see you again, Countess. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Are you here on official business?
No, Madame Mayor. I'm here to ask a personal favor of the prefect of police.
I'm at your service, Countess. Oh, Madam Mayor, you must not be late for your appointment. Please remember me to your husband.
Goodbye, Countess. I am sure you will find Monsieur de Villefort most obliging.
She has an unhappy home life, I'm afraid.
I hope you won't think me too forward, but you are the only person I could come to for this favor.
I think it an honor that you thought of me.
My seamstress's husband, Philippe Bayard, has been arrested for drunkenness again. Won't you please not be too harsh on him?
Your wish is my command.
Thank you, Monsieur de Villefort. You're very understanding.
Well, must you go so soon?
I must hasten to tell the poor woman the good news.
Do not hesitate to call upon me, Countess, for anything.
You're most kind, Monsieur. Goodbye.
There are so many beautiful women in Paris, and so little time.
I refuse to pay for the pendant.
Refuse?
Why should I? It was taken unlawfully from one of the Avengers' men in the first place, and the Avengers stole it from Lucille.
How do we know it was stolen?
What do you mean by that, Danglars?
You might very well have contrived this story to avoid paying Villefort for the pendant.
Because I refuse to pay for stolen goods, you all but accuse me of thievery?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Mayor. Danglars and I were discussing it only today.
Discussing what?
Why, your thievery, of course.
My thievery. That joke does not improve with repetition.
According to our ledger, there are various sums of money unaccounted for, amounting to 500,000 francs.
But we have suffered losses.
You are a very clever manipulator, Maillard. But ledgers do not lie.
There's no use lying, Mayor. We have proof.
Proof?
Conclusive proof.
But believe me, I only borrowed the money. I planned to return it.
Swine.
We will give you 1 week to pay it back.
1 week?
1 week.
I came to see you because of something you said last night.
Yes, Monsieur Maillard.
You intimated a desire to invest some of your own money.
But, Monsieur Maillard, I told you that the Count...
Does not approve? Oh, Countess, you should know how exciting it is to break the family yoke once in a while, especially when there is no risk.
No risk?
If you will lend me 200,000 francs for 1 week, at the end of that time, I will return the 200,000 francs with an additional 50,000 francs for you. A neat little profit, I would call it.
50,000 francs? That sounds very interesting.
I hope you would think so. 50,000 francs can buy a lot of thrills.
But isn't it quite a large profit to make in the short space of a week?
No, not in my business. Sort of big business.
Just what is your business, Monsieur Maillard?
Medicines. Yes, medicines. I'm now manufacturing a new medicine to curb the plague.
Sounds most commendable. Do you really believe it will curb it?
The city apothecary is placing his seal of approval on it. Of course, we have certain connections.
Did you say oui, Monsieur Maillard? And you have associates?
Yes, yes, I have associates, but I handle all the business. This transaction is no concern of theirs.
Oh, I see.
And to further secure your money, a shipment of my medicines, worth many times your investment, will arrive in Paris tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning? Your proposal really intrigues me, Monsieur Maillard. But I don't think it would be good business for me to invest so blindly.
What more do you want to know?
The names of your associates?
The names of my associates.
A woman is curious, you know.
Well, the names are... This is in confidence, of course.
Of course.
The names are Monsieur de Villefort and Baron Danglars.
Forgive me, Monsieur Maillard, for being skeptical. My money could not be in better hands.
Thank you, Countess. Thank you. You are truly a remarkable woman.
Goodbye, Monsieur Maillard.
And in addition to these vicious crimes, you're further accused of distributing a poisonous medicine. A medicine which has resulted in death to scores of poor people who are at the mercy of the public dispensaries.
But I'm not to blame. I'm merely a salesman. If there is something wrong with the medicines, the dispensaries should not have purchased it.
You do not know what your medicine can do. People's court will show you. Francois.
A good look, Monsieur Maillard.
She's blind!
It is a trick. My medicine never caused anything like that. You can't prove a thing. She was born that way, that's all. She was born that... Is he guilty?
Guilty!
People's court finds you guilty. It's my duty to pronounce sentence upon you. Leave Paris by midnight tomorrow. Leave France forever. Or death.
What's this about a trial?
I was tried by the Avengers' men. They know what my connections with the medicines.
It won't help, Maillard. We still want our money.
I do not have it. I told you what happened. I can prove it. I can prove every word I said. Go to the Countess. Yes, yes, ask the Countess. She'll bear me out.
All right, Mayor. We'll give you a chance to prove what you say. Come on, Danglars. Ah, Bonnet. Anything to report?
We will attack the shipment tomorrow morning, Your Excellency.
Where?
The same place in the Bois.
Good work, Bonnet.
The trial before.
Ah, yes. By the way, was there any kind of a trial in the underground today?
Trial? I do not know, monsieur. I played ill so that I could come here.
I see.
Hallucinations.
We'll be ready for them this time.
Stop! Don't follow them. They know the woods better than we.
You sent for me, Countess?
Yes. How are the men?
This has been our greatest tragedy. 3 are dead and 4 are badly wounded.
The wounded must receive every possible care.
We are doing everything to make them comfortable and well.
Antoine, you must investigate every man in our organization.
You suspect a traitor?
Yes. And until we learn who he is, the lives of all are in jeopardy.
If there is a traitor, we will know what to do with her.
Maillard still has not left Paris.
I know. I have persuaded de Villefort to hold the party tonight at Café La Boule. For a lark. Maillard will be there.
Good.
Everything must go as we planned.
It is already arranged, madame. Everything will be as we planned.
Somehow I do not think the Count would approve of my taking you to Montmartre.
Perhaps. But it has always been a secret desire of mine to go there. And what better protection could I have than the prefect of police?
Oh, I see. I'm just acting as protector.
But a most intriguing one.
I must admit that I am not too eager for your husband's return.
Monsieur,
Do you resent my speaking to you in this way?
I know I should. But you do it so nicely, I cannot be angry.
You are lovely tonight. But then you are lovelier each time I see you.
You are very flattering, Monsieur de Villefort.
Your perfume is most unusual.
It is something I brought back from the Orient.
Monsieur le Préfet, what an honor. Welcome to La Boule.
A table, a large, clean one.
Yes, monsieur. Pepe, clean the big table for His Excellency.
Oh, look at those people.
The scum of Paris.
I cannot understand it. I seem to know this place. And the people, too.
You've been drinking so much the whole day, I am surprised you can see at all.
Champagne.
If only wine, Your Excellency.
Well, bring the best.
Oh, vin ordinaire, Monsieur le Préfet.
Vin ordinaire.
I'm sure you enjoy it. Our patrons cannot afford variety.
We're not interested in what your patrons can or cannot afford. Bring it.
There is something strange going on.
And by the way, Countess, I understand that you took advantage of Monsieur Maillard's offer to counsel you in matters of business.
Affairs of business.
You did invest some money with Monsieur Maillard.
Invest money?
Even for it's my fault. I had cautioned the Countess to keep the matter confidential. Countess, I've already told them of the money I borrowed.
I really do not understand, Monsieur Maillard.
Countess, certainly you have not forgotten the 200,000 francs you loaned me only yesterday.
Try this wine. It's not half as bad as I expected.
Monsieur Maillard seems to be enjoying his.
He will fall. I tell you, this is preposterous. Danglars. Countess, how can you sit there and deny our dealings?
Be still, you drunken fool.
Is there something wrong, Monsieur Maillard?
Yes, there is something wrong.
This place here, this is where they had the trial de Villefort, I remember now. And these are the same people.
Sit down, Maillard. You're making a spectacle of yourself.
There is where the judges sat. There is one of them. The one with the white hair.
Don't be a fool, Maillard. Sit down.
I know who you are, you gutter rats. And I won't leave Paris.
Sit down.
I won't. You hear me? And you can't make me. You and your people's court. Tell you I won't. I won't die.
Stupid old goat. I've never been so humiliated in my life.
Calm yourself, Lucille. There's no need for you to leave.
I've had no advice from you, de Villefort. Take me home, Danglars.
This has all been beyond you, Lucille. It started when Maillard refused to pay Villefort for the pendant.
I should have known that pendant was second-hand. Who is this Edmond Dantes you stole it from?
Edmond Dantes?
Dantes?
What do you know about Edmond Dantes?
Don't you play the innocent either, Danglars. I found it inscribed in the miniature of Bonaparte.
Edmond Dantes.
Take her home, Danglars. My profound apologies, Countess. I had no idea that this would happen.
That's quite all right, Monsieur de Villefort.
Your Excellency, Baron Danglars wishes to see you outside.
Will you excuse me, Countess?
Of course.
Officer, stay here with this lady.
Maillard is on the roof.
Monsieur le Préfet, he's dead.
Let no one leave here before my men arrive.
Yes, Your Excellency.
It was horrible, Monsieur de Villefort.
My apologies, Countess. I will escort you home immediately.
It was so terrifying, I must have fainted.
I understand. I will convey my regrets to the Count for putting you through such an ordeal. Your kerchief, madame.
Thank you, monsieur. I shouldn't have insisted upon going to this frightful place. It might not have happened but for me.
I'm sure it could have happened at any other place. If it will ease your conscience, Mayor's death is no great loss to the world.
But what will the Count say if he hears about this?
I'm sure you have done nothing that the Count will not condone. Death is not a pleasant thing to witness, Countess, especially when it is violent. Take the guillotine. It must be a terrible sensation to wait, your head upon the block, never knowing just when the knife will fall. That must be a very unpleasant way to die, Countess de Monte Cristo.
Your conversation is rather morbid, Monsieur de Villefort. I'm not interested to hear any more of your professional activities.
Oh, your pardon, madame. I should have known better than to mention such things to someone as sensitive as you.
Monsieur de Villefort, are we going the right direction?
The driver is taking the direction I told him to.
Oh, but this is not the way to my home.
I did not instruct him to take us to your home. We're on our way to the Cherche Midi prison, Madame Avenger.
Where have you been? I've been looking all over Paris for you. Wait. Look. That was thrown through my window.
It's just an idle threat.
Idle threat? Did Maillard receive an idle threat?
Oh, I admit I was badly duped. But how was I to know that our innocent little countess was being the avenger when her husband was away?
Now that you have her, what's keeping her from the guillotine? Or perhaps you've been duped worse than you admit.
Oh, don't be a fool, Danglars. The countess is just a passing fancy. The Count is the real game.
Maillard warned you about the Avenger, and you refuse him protection. I demand that you give it to me.
You'll have all the protection necessary.
But you underestimate the amount of protection that is necessary. We are dealing with Edmond Dantes. You don't know the man as I do.
I do not believe that Dantes and Monte Cristo are one.
I do, de Villefort.
I checked the records.
I refuse to allow my life to hinge on an entry in a book of records. How do I know that Dantes did not escape?
You're a hysterical old fool, Danglars.
Well, perhaps I am. But even a fool would know what to do now.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Versailles. I'll get the protection I need there.
Versailles? You wouldn't dare. They would find out everything.
What's a scandal? Or even a prison term compared to my life?
I will not let you talk, Danglars. This concerns me, too.
No, de Villefort. It's no use. I've listened to you for the last time. I listened to you when we organized the scheme to rob the people of Paris. You took the lion's share. I listened again, and Maillard died. Always you've done the thinking, and I've done the listening, but no more. Now you're going to listen to me. I am going to the palace, and you are helpless to stop me.
Monsieur Danglars was resisting arrest. Countess, I was concerned about you. Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable?
That you're not so considerate with all of your prisoners.
But you are far more important to me than my other prisoners.
Monsieur.
Surely you do not believe that I think you are the avenger. You ought to know by now that I'm cleverer than that.
I'm afraid I've underrated you, Monsieur de Villefort.
On the contrary, it is I who have underrated you. It's most regrettable that I have to do this to you, but by keeping you here, I know that the Count will not be far away.
But I am the avenger. My husband knows nothing about this.
Very noble indeed. But your gesture only increases my desire to capture the Count.
Countess is in grave danger. They're coming for you. You must leave at once, master.
Head them off, Antoine. Ride in another direction. I am going to Paris. Do as I say, Antoine.
There is our man.
What do you want?
Forgive me. Does Pierre Michaud live here? I'm looking for Pierre. Pierre Michaud, the blacksmith.
I'm Floris Michaud, his daughter.
Where is your father, mademoiselle?
Who are you?
I'm a friend of his.
I do not know you, monsieur. But come in. Why do you want to see my father?
Your father and I are comrades in arms. Where is he?
In Paris.
You know this?
Of course, monsieur. This is the tricolor.
And the insignia of the Avenger.
The Avenger.
Your father is one of his men.
He was, monsieur.
I do not understand.
He is dead now.
When did this happen?
2 days ago, in the Bois, during a raid on government wagons.
But you must be mistaken. There were no raids.
Oh, yes, there were. And the raiders ran into an ambush planted by the police, and those raiders were led by the Avenger.
Haiti.
You see, monsieur, you are not well informed.
I am on my way to Paris. I must get back at once. I need another horse.
You will not find one in this neighborhood. Not even a mule. Monsieur le Count.
You know me.
The gendarmes are looking for you, Count of Monte Cristo. It is not safe for you to stay.
You would not...
My father died for you. No need to avenge his death. It will not bring him back.
I am ready to give my life as he did, mademoiselle.
Words, monsieur. Empty words. The avenger need not die. He has others to do it for him.
I live to save my wife.
Is your wife more precious than others? Than my father? And why should I believe you, Monsieur le Count?
I will tell you why. When I was forced to leave Paris, the Countess took my place. Like a man carrying on for me. That is why.
My father did his share for you and your noble Countess.
Pierre did not die for us. He died for our cause. For himself. For you. For France.
But why did he have to die? I loved him.
Then you will understand. I love my wife.
My father is dead. She lives.
My wife is in prison. There's nothing between her and the guillotine but me and my sword.
In prison? Oh, I did not know.
She saved me once. After those ghastly years in Chateau d'If, she nursed me back to life and restored my faith in man. Life without her would be another Chateau d'If, and far more terrible.
Oh, monsieur, I never dreamed.
No. She does not deserve this fate. Do not blame her for what happened. She's very brave.
Forgive me what I said before. Let me help you. You need clothes, food.
I must get to Paris. I must get through.
Take these, monsieur. I will heat some soup for you while you change.
Thank you. I do not need food. I must go.
Oh, wait. I will hide you until it is safe for you to leave. Come with me. Change down here in case the police return. I trust it will not be long, monsieur.
I have little time.
Be patient, monsieur. Now, you need a cloak. I'll get one from the attic.
He is in there. Have the men surround the house.
Why, Jean, what is it? There's no one in this house beside me.
Better let us make sure of that. You might be in danger.
You have no right to search my house.
You are mistaken. Step aside.
I will not.
Fool! Monte Cristo. This is your last chance. This is your last chance, Monte Cristo. You will never get away alive.
Follow me.
Where are they?
In the attic.
Go. Rescue your wife. I'm all right.
His Imperial Majesty Louis Philippe has authorized me to proclaim a state of martial law. The Avenger has stirred up a spirit of revolt in the people of Paris. This must be stamped out at once. Guard every entrance and exit to the city. Search every house where the Count of Monte Cristo might seek refuge. Any disobedience to this law will be punishable by death.
Come along. We are raiding all of our hiding places. Paris has been turned inside out to find you.
I know, but we must rescue the Countess.
But how? The city is swarming with police.
Listen to me carefully, Antoine. This is a plan. There must be no mistakes. At midnight, the mail coach leaves Paris by the Orléans gate. The Countess must leave on that coach.
But the coach will be searched before it leaves the city.
And the Countess is imprisoned in Church Midi.
She will be released. Baptiste, you will be waiting for her.
But yourself, Monsieur le Count.
I will join her later. If I am not back by midnight, do not wait for me. My wife must get out of Paris on that coach, whatever may happen to me. Those are my orders.
Haydée,
Haiti.
Edmund! Edmund, you shouldn't have come here.
Why did you do this, Sadie? You had no right to take this upon yourself.
I had every right. You're my husband. Edmund, please, go away quickly. You must carry on.
Do you think I could live without you?
What of your vow? What of your work you've done all these years?
No, Haiti. I will not let you sacrifice yourself for me. I will get you out of here.
Edmund, please. They'll come soon.
Listen to me, Haiti. The jailers will soon receive an order to free you. Baptiste will be waiting at the foot of the wall. Do not waste a single moment.
But how will you do this? Where will you be?
I cannot explain now. But if anything happens, remember, I love you.
Lieutenant Chavert reporting, Monsieur le Prefect. The 12th platoon of gendarmes is now on duty.
Very good.
I have just made another inspection of the house, Monsieur le Prefect. No one has entered or left during your absence.
Have you placed the sentry at the stables?
2, Monsieur. And, Monsieur, a courier has arrived from the palace with a letter. It is on your desk.
Very well. Put out the candles, Paul. You and the other servants may retire.
One sound and you are a dead man to before.
Oh, Monsieur le Comte, so we meet at last.
But not exactly as you planned it before. It would be very unwise to make a false move. You do exactly as I say.
You will not escape this time, Monte Cristo?
Softer. Make out an order to the superintendent of the Cherche Midi for the release of the Countess.
It will be useless. You will never leave Paris alive.
Do as I say. Right. Right. Now over there. You will also dismiss the guards posted about your house.
Lieutenant? Give this to the superintendent of the Cherche Midi prison.
Yes?
And dismiss all the guards.
But, Excellency.
Do as I tell you. And now, Monte Cristo?
I'm afraid I will have to impose upon your hospitality a little longer, monsieur.
You have been very clever. It's a pity that a man of your caliber must go to the guillotine.
We shall see who goes to the guillotine, Monsieur de Villefort.
Are you certain Monsieur de Villefort ordered this?
He gave it to me himself.
Very well. Release the Countess of Monte Cristo.
Yes, monsieur.
Just a moment. There's something strange about this. Why should the prefect order the release of the Countess?
Perhaps it was an order from the palace. A courier arrived from Versailles just before Monsieur de Villefort sent me here.
An order from His Majesty. Release the Countess at once.
I have no doubt that you are the avenger, but there is something else I would like to know. Are you also Edmond Dantes?
Edmond Dantes is dead, Monsieur de Villefort. Surely you do not believe in the return of the dead?
Of course. How stupid of me. Well, you've accomplished your purpose. By now the Countess is free.
Please, please, Countess. We cannot wait any longer.
No, we must wait. I'm sure he'll come soon.
But, Countess, it is only a few minutes till 12. We must get started at once.
I cannot go without my husband. I cannot.
We have our orders, Countess. We must obey.
Here is a knife. We'll sew you in now.
You're right.
Very clever. I've heard of your reputation as a swordsman, Monte Cristo. Now is your chance to prove it.
It will be a pleasure to demonstrate it to you, Monsieur Prefect. That was characteristic to before.
The hour is late, Monte Cristo. It seems to worry you.
You will not escape so easily. I have waited too long for this.
You are Edmond Dantes.
Yes, de Villefort. I am Edmond Dantes.
Better off if you had stayed in Chateau d'If.
You're quicker with word than your sword, de Villefort.
You will never leave this house alive, Monte Cristo.
Not only out of this house, but Paris as well.
The others have been promoted.
Here's the receipt. That's all. Get up. Get up.
Any news of the Avenger? Not yet. But he won't get away this time.
He knows better than to show his face at this gate. Open the barrier!
Get up. Get up. Get up.
Do as I tell you, and you will not be harmed. Leap off and head back to Paris. You too.
What of the others, Edmund? Those who have helped us?
We shall come back, lady.